Hello, beautiful brothers and sisters, and welcome back to The Revelator. Today, I want to speak with you all a little bit about being an empath. This is one of the first, I'll say, really noticeable things that happened to me when I started this spiritual awakening, this spiritual journey. And I'm telling you, it's a lifelong journey. But this is one of the first things that I noticed. And this was something brought on by Twin Flame. I went looking and searching the internet, looking for why do I have the ability to do this? And why does this happen to me? And why can I tell this? And why do I have this information when I'll say I shouldn't, but I do? And so I went looking for answers to those questions, and this is what I found. I came across articles talking about empaths. I read several of them, and all I could do was cry. I really did. I cried so much because I always felt and knew that I was just different, maybe a little strange, definitely different. But I didn't know that there were other people out there exactly like me that felt the same way I felt and had these same abilities that I had, and that there was a name for it. All my life, I never knew. Empath. And it was comforting to realize that I wasn't, in fact, alone, because I felt just alone in this forever. And this isn't things that you can speak to people about, because who are you going to tell? Who's going to listen to you with this? People are going to look at you like you're strange. Oh, she's crazy. Oh, she's weird. And at this point, you may think I'm all of those things, and I am perfectly okay with it. Perfectly fine with it. So I just wanted to go over a little bit on what an empath was. And I would also like to say that when I did find this out, and when I was reading on all of this, I had a very supernatural event that surrounded this, and that happened when I was looking up this information. Let's just get started and let me go over a little bit about what an empath is. And the list that I have here is not exhaustive. There is plenty out there that you all can look up and read further into it if you so choose. Empaths are often called sensitives or intuitives. You may hear words or phrases like that associated with being an empath. Empaths are very sensitive and may even absorb the feelings, emotions, the mood, and the energy of other people. We're really great listeners, and we seem to be able to relate or get people, or to get where they're coming from on a more intimate or a deeper level. Even if it's something that maybe the empath has not personally experienced, there's just this way where you can understand and get where someone's coming from on a deeper level. Because empaths are great listeners, and I know this happens to me, people will come up to you, people you don't even know. I guess they instinctively know that you're an empath. I don't know. But they'll come up to you and they will start telling you their life story, very personal things that normally you wouldn't go up and speak to a stranger about, but they feel comfortable for whatever reason coming up to you and talking to you about things. And that's okay. I don't shy away from it. It doesn't bother me. I'm okay with it. Empaths are also really great at reading the vibe, or the atmosphere or the energy in a room. Just walking into a room, it just automatically comes. And I will tell you that all of this is absolutely effortless. It's no struggle. It's no strain. And I don't know how to make you understand that. It's just, it all just happens and comes naturally. Empaths are really good also at knowing when someone is feeling off, or when they're feeling some type of way, or when they're feeling out of sorts. And that's when no one else around notices, but as an empath, you notice. Empaths often seem to care too much, which can come at an expense. A lot of times, the empath will neglect their own care in caring for other people, and in their desire and their need to take care of other people. So self-care in this is very, very important. And that's something I definitely had to learn. It took me a while, but I tell you now, I got it. Empaths can, because they do care too much sometimes, and I won't say too much. Is there such thing as caring too much? But we use that just so you can understand what I'm saying. But they can become emotionally fatigued, and this emotional fatigue can turn into physical fatigue or physical exhaustion. And that's where it comes in, that it's really imperative and it's really important for you to protect your energy, to know when to step back. And that's another thing that took me a bit to learn, but I know how to do that now. If I have to remove myself from a situation, then that's exactly what I do. Empaths may get overstimulated in crowds or with a large amount of excessive noise and things of that nature. I know that's a big one with me. If there's so much talking and chattering, sometimes I'm okay, and sometimes it absolutely will overwhelm me. There may be times where an empath may suddenly become overwhelmed with emotions or things of that nature when you're out in public. That does happen too. It may take them a little more time to process and settle into energy shifts as well. And I mean, like, going from an area of high energy where there's a lot of people and there's a lot of noise, to quiet time. So sometimes there's that need to decompress after being in a loud crowd, or after being in certain atmospheres, or in certain energies, certain places of high energy, or even around certain people. You have to kind of step back and take time to decompress. This is something that definitely happens with me. But I know what to do now, and I know how to handle it, whereas I didn't before. A lot of empaths struggle with having anxiety or having depression. And oftentimes I can tell you, we feel like no one understands us, like nobody truly understands us or gets us. But now that I know there's other people out there, that's just the way I am, I know that that's not true. And that's not to say that my friends don't get me or understand me, or my family doesn't care about me and don't listen to me. I'm not saying that. Other things that happen in empath can be deeply hurt by things that may seem really small or insignificant to someone else. But to the empath, it can take longer than the average person would take to get over these hurts, or what may seem to you like a little offense, or seem to you like not a big deal, that it may be a big deal to us. Empaths may also become upset on a deeper or more intense level at seeing violence or horror, even if it's just in a movie. And this I did not get or understand about myself for the longest time, this happens to me. There's just certain things I will not watch. I don't want to see. I don't want to hear. I don't want to listen to. Because, for instance, let's say we go watch a movie and this movie is just full of so much violence. We get up, leave the theater, we go home, and you go home and you feel perfectly normal. I don't. I feel like the ache, like this thing stayed with me. I feel it tangible, and then it may take me a bit to shake it off. And that may sound strange, and I don't know how else to explain it, but it stays with me. I don't just get up and walk out and leave and it's done and over with. It stays with me for a little bit, and I gotta kind of like shake it off. Maybe someone deals with this also and they can explain a little bit better than I just did. And I welcome that. Another big thing with empaths, we know when you're lying. Empaths are really good lie detectors. That does not mean if we're sitting and having a conversation that I am analyzing everything you say. I am absolutely not doing that. There is no judgment. I'm not judging you when I'm listening to you speak or we're having a conversation. I need for people to understand that. Empaths really love being in nature, and I love when it rains. I want to stand out in the rain. I want to feel it on my skin. I want to listen to it. I want to hear it. I want to see it. So a lot of empaths have that love for nature. And also, we crave solitude. We need to be alone at times. We need to have that alone time. I know this is very true, and it's a very big deal for me, where I need to sometimes just be by myself. Some of you are raising children that are empaths. I now realize that I had a lot of these qualities as a child, but who knew that there was a name for it, or who knew that there were other people out there that are dealing with this? And so some of the things that you may see with children that are empaths are a lot of the same things that you see with adults, but it's on their childlike level. It could increase as they get older. So a lot of kids that are empaths may cry when other people cry, or when they see someone get hurt, or even it could be something that they see or witness in a movie or on a TV show, but it really touches them. And they may cry from what they see, or see this person get hurt on TV, or see this person get hurt in a movie, and they take it to heart. Actually, two of my children have been like that. Like they would watch something on television that made them cry. And these are cartoons. One of the kids, we actually had to stop from watching a certain cartoon because every time the character on the cartoon cried, he cried. So we actually had to stop him from viewing that cartoon. Some children that are empaths you may have heard about your child that they are highly sensitive, or that they're on the spectrum. That's not uncommon. Children that are empaths are often overthinkers. They may have a real zest for learning, a real love for learning. They may love to read. Children that are empaths may have very vivid dreams. They may take scoldings or punishments on a deeper level, and that definitely does not mean not to discipline your child. Just be mindful that they may take these things to heart on a deeper level. They may take a little bit longer to get over them. And often these kids feel like they don't fit in or that they don't belong. They can be really compassionate to other kids, to other people, and also to inanimate objects as well. An empathic child may be artistic. They may have mystery physical symptoms, and they may have difficulty handling their own feelings and emotions. And so what you can do as a parent of a child that's an empath is definitely to educate yourself and keep their calendars light. Don't have them with full calendars all week and there's no time to just be quiet or just be settled. It's really important to teach these children about setting boundaries, what boundaries are, and setting boundaries, and definitely to allow them quiet time. It's very, very important. And time for them to decompress. And maybe they need that sometimes just after they get home from school. Just allow them to sit, do something, read a book, just have some kind of quiet time where they're able to decompress when they get home from their school day, and also just be very supportive of them. And just in general, like I said, a lot of the things that adults go through and experience, the children go through and experience the same thing, just kind of on a different level. I have my aunt that's an empath also, whether she realizes it or not. She is very strong empath. I think a lot of times that people that are empaths, maybe you have a mom, aunt, or you have a grandmother, you have other people in your lives that are empaths as well. I seem to hear of that happening a lot. I wanted to go over a few misconceptions about what it is to be an empath. People definitely shouldn't think that being an empath means that someone is weak or they're fragile or they're feeble, because that's definitely not it. Also, I don't want people to feel like our need for solitude means that we don't want to be around people. I absolutely love my friends. I love my family, and I absolutely love my friends. And I enjoy being with them, and I enjoy spending time with them. So the need for solitude doesn't mean that I don't want to be around people or that I don't enjoy being around people. And another big thing, this is really important. Empaths are not sitting around reading your minds or reading your thought. You do not need to fear us. I don't tell very many people at all that I'm an empath. I've been speaking to people about it, and you tell them this, and you explain what it is, and you immediately see this wall go up. Like, oh, I don't know how much I should talk to her, or I don't want her reading my thoughts, or I don't want her knowing what I'm thinking. Well, that's not how it works. And you needn't feel that way. I hate it when I see that happen, but it does happen. I've seen it more than once. I've given people information that I've heard spiritually, and it disturbs them. So a lot of times I just don't tell anything. I just keep things to myself. And this is not witchcraft. This is not divination. If you read the Bible, if you read the stories about Jesus, how can you not see that Jesus was an empath? How do you not see that in him? So this is not doing anything wrong. And I don't want anybody to feel like because they have this gift, and it indeed is a gift, that they need to feel any kind of way or any type of way about this. Be grateful and be thankful for it. I would say that if you're able to understand or remember when we were in school and you were always taught that everything is energy, that all is energy, and that energy is neither created or destroyed. And I'm going to tell you, God is energy. Then you may be able to understand this all on a deeper level. We are all connected. God is all. And if you can think of absolutely anything outside of all, I'd love to hear about it. There is nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing outside of all. So we are all a part of that. We are all a part of the essence of God. We are all connected. I am in you and you are in me. We are all a part of Source. We're all a part of the Elohim. That's the one made up of many. If you can grasp and understand that, you can understand how we're all connected. People that are realizing the fact that they are an empath are definitely in the stages of a spiritual awakening. And that is not to say that those of you who may not be strongly experiencing these things, or maybe you just aren't noticing that you're experiencing them, that's not to say that you're not in the place of a spiritual awakening, because that's not true. That's not what I'm saying at all. God is no respecter of persons. So these gifts are, and they are gifts, they are available to everyone. You can all have them. Before I used to shy away from it. I don't do that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. I am grateful for them. I love them. I embrace them. And I do notice that the deeper I get into and go into the things that I'm going through with the spiritual awakening, that these gifts and these abilities become stronger. They become more intense. And I won't say that there's anything specific or tangible that I can say that's causing them to become stronger or more intense. I think that that's just part of what comes with the territory. And so this is another thing. I was telling you all that there was a spiritual experience that I had when I found out I was an empath. So I'm laying down in bed and I'm on my phone and I'm looking up all this information. And those of you who have listened to the lectures of Neville Goddard know that he talks about this intense vibration that happens when you're going through this process of awakening into realizing who you are. Well, that day I'm laying there, I'm reading all this stuff, and everything starts to vibrate. I feel like my bed is vibrating as well. I know that I am vibrating. I feel it in my body. I am completely awake. The lights are on in the room. I'm reading this information and I stop. And I'm thinking to myself, what the heck is going on? Why is this happening? What's going on? Why is this happening? That's what I kept asking myself. And It seemed like it went on forever. I'm sure it didn't. It was probably a pretty short period of time. But then I was just like, stop. And it did. And I just stayed there. I didn't want to get up. I didn't know if I should get up. Do I get off the bed? Do I leave out of the room? I didn't know what I should do. But what I did was I went to go and look up whether anyone else had ever experienced anything like this and what it was and why did this happen. And what I found was that people had experienced this, and it was people that was going through a spiritual awakening. So I had no idea what a spiritual awakening was. And I just prayed and I was like, Lord, is this what's happening to me? Is this what's going on with me? And I will actually make another recording because there were a lot of physical things that I was going through as well. There were actually physical signs and physical symptoms that had started when I began the spiritual awakening. So I will make a recording and I will go over those things. But I didn't know what I was supposed to do from that point. And I just said, Lord, is this what's happening to me? Is this what's going on with me? If this is it, and this is a spiritual awakening, and that's what's going on, and that's what's starting here, then I need you to confirm it. I need you to tell me what it is I need to do, because I have no idea what I'm supposed to do with this. What do I do with this? If this is what's going on, I need you to confirm it. I need you to tell me, and I need you to confirm it. And I need you to show me what I need to do. What do I do now? What do I do with this? And the answers came. And to this point, I can tell you that I've never struggled to find anything I'm looking for as far as what I need to read or what I need to hear or what I need to know. It all comes, and it comes so naturally. It comes without effort. I say without effort, but when there's some things that I have to look for. I do have to study, and I need to read, and then it'll be shown to me. So it's not like effortless as far as you just sit there and you're just going to get all this information flying in front of your face. That's not what I'm saying. There's that saying that when the pupil is ready, then the teacher comes. Well, I assure you that that is real and very true. So everything I need to know up until this very day is given me, is told me. You may be able to see how someone that's an empath is so in tune to what other people are going through. And I say, and I will say this again, the Bible, if you read, where was Jesus not an empath? Where was he not an empath? Thank you for listening. And until next time, be well.